let's get to this. We got Robert Irsay, right? We've talked ad nauseum about Daniel Snyder, the embattled owner of the Washington Commanders. And obviously for the past couple of years, he's been in the news. There was the investigation about the toxic culture and work environment in their facilities. And, a lot of people have been calling for him to be removed. And you and I've always wondered, like, how in the world does this guy survive? Because Rob, it's not just as if this is not bad enough in itself, a toxic work environment. But in 2009, he settled a sexual assault allegation against him from a woman who, said he groped her and tried to get her to have sex with him and all that. And he paid her $1.6 million not to go public and not to sue. So that is something that's obviously very strong. And I've wondered, how's this guy survived all of this? And ESPN just came out with a report last week about the thinking, the notion, the belief among some people in the NFL that Snyder has been collecting damaging information on fellow owners so that if they ever did try to come after him, he would be able to, blackmail him essentially. And Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, came out today, Rob, and shockingly is the first owner to come out and say he thinks that there would be merit in removing Daniel Snyder, or at least looking into removing him as owner of the Commanders. Here he is.
You said that Dan Snyder should get removed. Should the Snyder family sell?
I said he should. There's consideration that he should be removed. We have to complete the investigation. But to me, it's something that I think serious consideration has to be given to the removal, and we have complete authority to do that.
Of him or just the family, period?
I think, in general, of him being removed and selling the franchise.
Chris, you don't hear that very often. You don't hear owners turn on each other publicly. I mean, we could be remiss, even during the Donald Sterling stuff, Chris. I don't remember owners going, get him out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it happened fast, but right. I don't remember it, Rob. You're right.
I don't.
Maybe we forgot, but I don't remember it. You're right.
Right. And even with Sarver, Chris, with the Suns, it wasn't about owners. It was about advertisers and then the union and then LeBron
and some players.
But I don't remember owners saying, "Oh no, he's got to go." Like let's get him out of the league and let's vote him out. So for an owner to come out and even publicly, Chris, say that there's merit, that tells me a lot, because I don't think Robert Irsay would be going out and making those comments if he didn't feel confident that I wanted to say Dan Gilbert.
Daniel Snyder.
Daniel Snyder is on his way out.
Rob,
I got that feeling.
He made the comments at an NFL meeting where owners are present. Gathering.
Right, the owners meeting. Right.
Yeah, in the lobby of the hotel where they met. And so, as to your point, I mean, obviously these are their fall meetings, and it was a topic of conversation. And so he has heard from, I'm sure he's been talking with other owners, Rob, at the meetings.
Sure.
And before the meetings, you know what I mean? During the meetings, but, away from the actual meeting, you know what I'm saying? If they're having a meal or a drink together or whatever. I'm sure this is a topic of conversation, Rob. And I also think that, we're going to find out, and you don't want this thing to get, obviously the NFL doesn't want this thing to get really ugly, but that report from ESPN about him supposedly having all of this damaging information, if this, really becomes, they're trying to remove him, I guess we'll find out whether or not that's true. And here's the thing, Rob, and one thing that made me shocked about him being able to survive was, remember Jerry Richardson, owner of Carolina, who was removed for what appeared to be much less than Daniel Snyder. And
he was, Chris, he's the first player to own an NFL team. Jerry Richardson played in the NFL.
Yep. So they didn't want to get rid of him.
Exactly. That was like a feather in their cap to have one of those guys raise up to that level to be able to own a team. You have to have a lot of money. Okay? A lot. And he was able to do that. But yeah, you just don't see public comments made like this. This is a little surprising to me.
And the interesting thing is this, Rob. I told you once, I was watching this show Billions. I think it was on Showtime, a popular series. And one of the main characters was trying to buy a football team. He was a billionaire. He was wealthy enough. And they rejected him. And one of the owners said, the way we knight people in this country is their ownership of, I don't know if he said an NFL franchise or,
a sports
it could be
franchise.
MLB or basketball. Yeah, that's how we knight people. You get to own a franchise, and they didn't think his character was worthy of that. And Rob, there are only a handful, relatively speaking, of owners in these sports. There's 32, majority owners in the NFL, or maybe 31 if the Packers are owned, publicly. And so it is a privilege. And don't feel sorry if this comes to pass. Don't feel sorry for Dan Snyder. Just like you shouldn't have felt sorry for Donald Sterling. Because Dan Snyder bought this team, around 99, Rob?
Something like that.
He's going to make a killing.
Yep.
Off of this.
Money won't be the issue.
Right. And so it's not going to be too much of a punishment as far as I'm concerned. And so it'll be embarrassing.
So do you think this is it for Snyder? Is that?
I think they've got here's what I'll say. I think they certainly have the goods, if you will, right? I think they got the goods, and we'll see if they go forth with it. But I would think they'd be able to do it if they pursue it. What do you think?
Yep, I think this is it. It's a wrap. If it was questionable, I don't think Irsay would be out there publicly talking to reporters. He could have easily said, "There's an investigation going on. I can't comment." Chris,
right.
That's what
and
you say.
And he would have been fully within his rights.
Fully within his rights because they're investigating. He didn't say that. He said that there's merits for him to be removed. End of story to me.